Welcome everyone, welcome guys. You are watching Off Limits. My name is Darleine Guerrier.
Berthine, Maxi.
Jodly, Delia.
Esther, Marius, Chéry.
So this is Off Limits. So chaque fois nous faisons là, on a toujours fait comme ça. Nous allons côté un pile détail, un peu d'informations, nous allons rentrer dans la carrière pour aider nos familles, nos amis, nous dire brancher parce que nous allons vous jouer.
Non.
Off Limits, you guys.
Yes.
Ok, est-ce que nous allons gérer non ça?
Oh oui.
Nous allons gérer. Pas de limite pour ça.
Non. Nous faisons déjà
Not fair.
So comment nous y mesdames, qui viennent de passer le week-end nous et tout bagaille?
Très bien.
Très bien.
Dieu.
Bon, moi, je viens célébrer. Christmas est passé.
Fête finie.
Fête finie.
Nous venons dépenser tout comme nous de gagner. Je vais pas arrêter encore.
So comment nous sérieux?
Nous sérieux.
Ok, so nous allons prendre un pile débat qui est vraiment touchant parce que oui, nous avons plaisir nous, nous avons lu et tout ça, mais nous avons des informations de côté moun yo ka bénéficier la carrière.
Exactement.
Et une grosse information qui t'a fait la une depuis presque 2 ans.
Ouh, dis ça comme t'as sauté.
Oh, Covid là toujours.
Ouais, so je dis, on va parler de
Dommage.
Qui t'a pensé qu'après presque 2 ans, nous t'a là
toujours
été.
Et puis, plus sérieux encore.
Et nous parlons comme côté de l'aller. C'est ça.
Il y a une autre qui l'a fini.
Parce que pour flou, tout le monde déconne que exactement chaque année, vous supposez pour vaccin, pour flou. Mais quand nous mettons en chaos là, nous ne pas connaître pour qu'il est là.
Oui, nous ne savons pas qu'il est là, pour qu'il est là, mais nous avons une idée de ça, nous supposons faire.
Yes.
Pour arrêter le moins virus ça.
Yes.
Mais malgré ça, on fait tout ça, supposé faire.
Ça c'est normal là.
Oui.
Ok, so avant la été fait sortir, il y a des gens qui pas de ou bien pas d'accepter. Là, nous n'avons pas le choix. Ça c'est vie normale là. C'est qui genre pour nous adapter nous et qui ça pour nous faire pour nous protéger tête.
Voilà.
Bon, moi, ça me passe que même avec Flo, qui était, je pense que Covid vient pour l'été. Je ne vais pas parler encore. It's been 2 years.
Et nous pas non que nous pas croire que gon bagay nous pas dit mesdames et que les n'a parlé de Covid, il y a bon médicaments everything, but il y a un monde qui a protégé le système là. C'est bon Dieu.
Oui, mais c'est les mêmes
Oh,
choses.
yeah.
C'est les nous
Yeah.
Parce que le flou a été venu, n'a pris un vaccin, flou pas gen moun qui te connaît mais prend fou non. Voilà votre l'un des petits moun petit, nous dans pays nous. Le bon vaccin jusqu'à présent nous un titre là. Nous te prend li nous pas compte qui ça ndeye. Nous pas compte qui ça et taper jeter dedans parce que nous des petits moun petit tout.
Donc c'est pour ça même temps des moun a dit pas ça dans vaccin,
on pas besoin de qui ça qui là dedans.
Donc plus pas nous pas connaître que nous.
Oui.
Bon, on a peut-être nous plus éclairé.
Mais
faut connaître tout depuis longtemps des gens qui n'ont pas voulu prendre vaccin parce que yo pas pensé que yo supposé prendre ou bien yo pas trop dans lui-même. Donc c'est même bagarre qu'a fait Kounia. Ça qu'a fait Kounia c'est pas nouveau. Donc nous juste ça fait ça nous supposé faire
avec lui. Fait ça nous supposé faire.
Pas l'habitude avec.
Obligé.
Laver main. Mettez masque dans frigo parce que disons mon gounier. Laver main, mettez masque disons. On va la dire bien.
Et puis prendre distance.
Oui, distance bien.
Mais mesdames, nous connaissons jusqu'à présent des gens qui pas quoi ou bien qui pas veulent prendre vaccin.
Oui.
So nous devons informer, nous devons encourager, mais nous pas qu'à dire que ça pour faire.
Exactement.
C'est ça que nous parlons d'un invité qui est vraiment spécial, qui va parler sur ça, supposé Covid là, qui va informer nous et peut-être ou même qu'à regarder l'émission, ou qu'à changer d'idée sur pourquoi prendre vaccin.
Yes.
OK?
On attend
So nous va prendre pause d'abord et puis là nous retourner avec le docteur
Nashley
Harrigan.
qui est pas oublié de là déjà.
Yes.
Donc,
oh, quand nous dit ça, l'un là, pas là, parce que nous
Darleine,
so I'm vraiment excited. I'm super excited, you guys, because des questions me ont envie de poser them, pas à regarder l'émission, oh my God. Poser ça, so quand il y a un lunch, on va rechercher ciao. Attendez.
Yes.
So let's brancher dans tout l'état.
does your outfit say about you? Jodly, a family-owned brand, brings you original design for those who love customizable fashion. Great sales are now being offered. Great fashion for adults, for kids. And just for you, we've got original designs, matching outfit, and don't forget, customizable fashion. Visit our store at 44 Rio Street in Taunton, or call us at 339-244-0188. Find us on social media at Jodly.
Welcome again. Now we are going to introduce you to our guest speaker, Dr. Nashley Harrigan. Dr. Harrigan was here before when she joined us last year to talk about COVID. And she is here again. We cannot thank her enough for taking the time to come and talk to our viewers. Dr. Harrigan, bonjour.
Welcome back.
We are happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. My name is Dr. Nashley Harrigan. I am an emergency medicine, board certified emergency medicine physician in New York City. And pretty much I've been fighting COVID for the last 2 years. So if you have COVID questions, I hopefully will have the answers for you guys. It's great to be back.
All right. Last time you were here, everybody was happy, and they said they had you gave them a lot of information, things that they did not know. And I think they're happy that you're back.
Anytime.
And then they wanted her back.
Yes.
They wanted her back. So this what we're doing right now, we cannot do it by ourselves because I am not fully educated about COVID. So we are blessed to have you here because I also have a few questions I would like to ask you myself.
We have a lot of questions about the COVID.
So Dr. Harrigan, give us an update from the last time you were here and now. Where are we and where do you think we are going?
The last time I was here, we had the COVID-19. I'm going to assume it was before Delta. So what happens is COVID-19 is a virus, and viruses like to change. They change their coats, they change their, not their DNA, but their spike proteins. And you have the different variants. So initially, we had a very significant and pretty strong variant called Delta. And as of right now, we have a very infectious variant called Omicron. So this is what we're fighting right now. Another version of COVID-19.
Oh, wow.
It's here. So what would you say to people who before said, okay, you told us vaccine, we will be fine, and now we are still here. What's the point of the vaccine?
What is the point of the vaccine? So you don't end up in the hospital super sick, so you don't end up dying. That is the purpose of the vaccine. I don't know where it came from that there was a rumor that once you get vaccinated, that means you will never get this disease. That is not how vaccines work. It helps protect you. It helps your immunity fight the disease so it doesn't get to its full level of danger because you're already equipped. It's the same example as having a seatbelt, right? Just because you have your seatbelt on does not mean that you will not get into car accidents. No one sold you that dream that because you wear your seatbelts, you will not get into car accidents. But what does the seatbelt do? It helps protect you from getting killed from car accidents. It is a protector, just like the vaccine is a protector.
Wow.
Okay. So does it work for the new COVID?
On the new variant.
Yeah.
The new variant. So it actually is working. It's doing what it's doing. It is, though, Omicron variant is very infectious, so everyone's getting it, vaccinated or not. But the people who are going to the hospital, the ones that are getting admitted, the ones that are being put on ventilators and needing supplemental oxygen, are the ones that are unvaccinated. You being vaccinated and getting COVID, you feel like you have the flu or a cold for a day and a half, 2 days, and then you go back to your regular business. But it's not as bad, right? You get the sore throats, you get the sniffles, you get a cough, you get some chills, you get some body aches. 2 days later, you're back to being your normal self.
Because I was in New York not too long ago, and I was doing my nails, and the lady told me, oh, I had a friend, he passed away because he was vaccinated and he got the variant and he died from it. So, I mean, she was telling me that, and I'm like, okay, I guess, I don't know if it's, that's why I asked the question, does it work for the variant? Because I think the lady was confused because she's like, I don't know why he died because he was vaccinated and he got the new COVID and he died. So that's why I asked the question.
So unfortunately, being vaccinated doesn't prevent death at all. Having your seatbelt does not mean that you will never die from a car accident. It lowers the probability of death, right? You could get into a car accident 10 times. 9 out of the 10 times, you get up, you walk away. The 10th time, you may have to go to the hospital. So just because you're vaccinated does not mean that you will not die from any disease or from COVID. It means that the probability of you getting COVID and getting super sick from it and ending up on a ventilator is very low. Some people have other diseases that when they do come across COVID, they just can't fight it. If they're diabetic and they have really bad diabetes that's uncontrolled, if they have cancer, their immune system is not great and can't help fight it even if they're vaccinated. If they're immune compromised and they have like HIV and they can't fight it, it doesn't matter how many vaccines you get. If their immune system is not good, they will probably not make it, unfortunately.
They have three vaccine, doctor. For example, if people had Johnson & Johnson, if they're supposed to have Johnson & Johnson again or Pfizer? Yeah, for the booster. What do you think?
So the recommendations for the booster is to actually switch. So if you had Pfizer, they recommend that you get Moderna for your booster. If you had Johnson & Johnson, they recommend you get any of the other ones, either Pfizer or Moderna. If you had Moderna, they recommend that you get Pfizer. It's been proven that the crossing of the vaccines actually produces a stronger immunity against COVID than keeping to the same one. Not to say if you did, it wouldn't work at all, but it's been proven that when you cross-match them, it actually is more effective.
Well, thank you for pointing that out because I did not know. I'm about to get my booster next week, and then I had the Moderna vaccine, and I was just gonna go for the Moderna. So it's good information. Thank you again for pointing that out because I didn't know. I don't think any of you knew.
No, I didn't know. I got my booster.
My question is because when I went, I called my doctor for my booster because I had Johnson & Johnson. And then she told me, yes, you can have anyone because we're not going to have Johnson & Johnson.
But Johnson & Johnson doesn't have a booster, correct?
It does not.
Okay. So my concern, I got my booster already and I got really sick from the booster. So I was extremely worried because why am I getting so sick with the booster and not as much when I got, the first vaccine and then the second dose? I don't understand.
So you got sick because you formed antibodies against it. So what is a booster, right? What is a vaccine? You take a piece of the virus that's not alive. You take either the coding or the spike protein, and you take a piece of it and you introduce it into your body so your body can start making a defense. So your body can start building an army against it, right? So the first 2 times your body never saw this protein, so it didn't have an army, so it wasn't ready. When you got the booster, the army was there, ready to fight, ready to do what it needs to do, and that's why you got so sick from it. It was doing what it was supposed to, and it was fighting the virus that it thought it showed. So now your army is super strong and probably has a couple of tanks and like air pilots and all this stuff and would be ready to fight when it sees the real thing.
What does that mean for those who do not get as sick after they take the booster? Does that mean it's not working? Because I've heard people saying if you take the vaccine, you don't get sick, that means it's not working. Is that true?
There's no direct correlation of your symptoms from a vaccine and the actual level of antibodies you produce. I took all 3 of mine and I probably sneezed like twice, and that's it. But if I were to get my antibody testing to see the level of antibodies, it'll show you how much your body reacted to it or not. There are some people who actually could get vaccinated a million times and never react. And then they also don't produce antibodies. So I do suggest, if you feel like it's been a very long time, whether or not I should get boosted, where am I? Go to your doctor and get antibody testing to see what level you are at.
Because I had vaccine and then I was okay because I had Johnson & Johnson. And then for the booster too, I was okay. Nothing. Even nothing.
People react differently to vaccine, like Dr. Harrigan mentioned. So not getting sick doesn't mean the vaccine is not working. Actually, I don't want to get sick. So
Nobody want to get sick.
When I did not feel anything after my 2 vaccines, and I'm hoping that when I get boosted, that I will not get sick as well. I don't know about you ladies. I do not want to get sick.
Anyway, I'm okay now. I'm done.
Okay.
And there's some people who actually get COVID and don't get sick, right?
Yes.
That doesn't mean they didn't get the infection, and that doesn't mean that their body didn't react to it. They just got a very mild form and their body was able to fight it off. So not being so ill doesn't necessarily mean your body's not doing its work, but getting ill does mean that it was ready to fight, and you should be grateful.
Awesome.
Okay, so now, est-ce que vous avez COVID plus que 2 fois? Can you have COVID more than twice?
Absolutely. You can have COVID every single time there's a new variant.
This is more than flu.
If COVID keeps changing as fast as it is, and it changes its composition, so your body doesn't recognize it, then you can get it again. And that's why it's very important to get vaccinated, because you don't know which form you're going to see next time. So if your body already has the antibodies against it, in whatever form outfit it has on, it should be ready to fight. But you can get COVID a bunch of times, and COVID is very smart. COVID is a virus that can make your body not recognize it in a couple of months. So a lot of people who got COVID the first time in like 2020 March, their antibodies fall down because it has disassembled its ability to recognize it. So it is a very smart virus, and you can get COVID a couple times.
But how long can how long do you think it's gonna take for somebody to have it again? Like a couple of months, or
After you get it, right?
I can hear you. How long does it take?
like to have it again? Like 3 months, 4, 5, I don't know. Yeah.
How long would you to get reinfected?
Yeah.
So it was the original COVID. So the problem is with this new variant, it just literally have been here for like 2-3 weeks. There's a lot of information we don't know yet. But from the original COVID and from the Delta COVID, your immunity pretty much lasts between 6 months to about a year-ish. It is dependent on your body and your way the body reacted towards the actual infection. Pretty much everybody within a year has lost their immunity by then.
Within a year.
So you can't get it in like 2 to 3 months. You can't get reinfected
Not from what we have as of right now. I don't know what's going to happen 2023, 2024. I'm hoping everything stops because I'm tired. But from now, no, it's very hard. And actually what they're saying right now with the Omicron, if you were vaccinated and you got Omicron, you end up with something called a super immunity. And your antibodies are so revved up that not even the like it revved up the stuff that the vaccine already did, that you are pretty much on like a super immune state. So.
Well,
we're learning a lot lately.
not that
Exactly.
I'm wishing to get Omicron, but that means if you get it, if I were to get it, I would be super revved up. Dr. Harrigan.
I say go out and have a COVID party. Don't do that.
No. That I'm one of these people. I'm doing everything in my power not to get COVID. And that doesn't mean, I will not get it. But I personally and my family, we are doing everything possible. And when COVID just started, it was you need to wash your hands, you need to stay away from people, you need to stop having those parties, wear your mask.
Yeah.
Do these things still work against COVID?
Still apply, yeah.
Do they still apply? So what do we know? We also know that COVID is not really on surfaces like that. They are on droplets. So they are like as you speak, as you cough, as you sneeze, it's there. And then there's a level of airborne. It travels a little bit in the air. So wearing a mask has been super effective. Super effective. That blocks a good 60-70% of your transmission, just having a regular mask, and then having a KN95 or KN94, that also has been super effective. So if you find someone that you're living with that has COVID and both of you guys have KN95s, it definitely decreases your ability to actually get the COVID-19. Washing your hands, or wiping down the surfaces is a good practice. Washing your hands is always a good practice because there's other diseases out there. Just because it's COVID, just because we're talking about COVID does not mean that there's nothing else out there. The flu is still out there, and I've gotten plenty of patients that have the flu. RSV, other viruses are still out there, and a lot of them are on the surfaces, on the things that you touch, on the spoons and the things that people, they share food and then they shell it out. It's still there. And what you don't want is a co-infection or an infection that you think it's COVID and it's not. That definitely changes your treatment and changes, what you can and cannot get. So it is always a good practice to wash your hands, please. Always a good practice to wear your mask and to wipe down the surfaces.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. But I have a question though. What would you say to people who have kids, and now that the vaccine is available to their kids, they are not making the decision quickly enough? Because as a mother, it's a hard decision. I remember my husband told me, but when it was when you needed to take the vaccine, you had no issues. Why are you so hesitating to give it to our daughter? For me, it was a no-brainer. However, I have an 8-year-old, and it's a hard decision for me to make. What would you say to people like me who are hesitating giving the vaccine to their kids?
I completely understand. At the end of the day, this virus has been here for about 2 years. The vaccine initially I think we've just came up to a year, right? Within the year, you needed a booster. So it's hard. It's like, where do you end? How far do we go? How many times do you going to vaccinate your kid? What is the alternative? The alternative is your child can get COVID. And we do know that kids are not totally immune from catching COVID. They are less likely, but now that they're back in school, now that it's wintertime, we are seeing an uptake of sick children coming in. And how strong are you to watch your child suffer through something that terrible? You're talking about fevers, we're talking about chills, we're talking about nausea, we're talking about vomiting nonstop. I've had several children come in so severely dehydrated from this, and it didn't matter how much they tried to give the Pedialyte, how much they tried to do this. These kids had to stay in the hospital for a day or two just because of how dehydrated they were from the virus. I get it. it's been a year. I would recommend that you give your child the COVID vaccine. If that was my kid, I don't like to see children suffer. I don't want to have my kid on any type of IVs or in the hospital. And kids have something that we don't, post-COVID infections that literally almost kills them. It's very rare, very rare. Have I seen it? Yes. Have I seen it several times? Yes. Where they need IV antibodies to help them fight it. I would rather them produce their own antibodies than get someone else's antibodies to help fight an infection. That will attack their heart, that will attack their organs, that will attack their blood pressure. That's not, for me, it's a no-brainer. For me.
Oh my God. What about for the kids? What age they're gonna give them the vaccine?
What age?
Yes, for the kids.
It's 5.
So I think it's up to 5, and it depends on which vaccine you're going to get. I think Pfizer is now at 5 years old. And I don't quite remember. Johnson & Johnson has never been approved for children. And I don't remember what Moderna is, but Pfizer just got approved for 5, I think last week or something.
So ladies, about COVID, we can go on and on
non-stop.
We are learning. So we're definitely gonna have to welcome you back. Maybe what?
Exactly.
2 months from now.
Hopefully we don't have a new COVID.
A new variant, I know. Well, we hope that next time you are here, we'll have better news.
Yes.
But we cannot thank you enough for taking the time and come and educate us. I've learned so much.
Yes.
Now I'm thinking about getting my daughter vaccinated.
I already gave my daughter the first dose, and it put me at ease now to know that I made the right decision. So thank you again for taking the time to educate us.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harrigan, for joining us today. You brought so much great information for us. Ladies, I don't know about you.
Just like last time,
Yes.
she always does.
Yes, so nous prenons plein d'informations. Là, nous avons mis petit coller pièces pour nous connaître en gros. Et puis, nous avons encouragé nous, c'est laver mes nous, mettez masque. Et puis, si Pierre, don't forget, you guys, don't forget. So, moi-même comme maman, j'étais vraiment anti-genre, bon type craintif dans tout bas ça parce que Diana a 5 ans et mon vie le vaccin, pas connaître si pour me le vaccin, pour prendre décision, c'est une information me voulais appliquer. OK, me voulais ba petit mon vaccin, même genre me prend vaccin, tout le monde a prend vaccin, dans l'école, m'pa voulais pour moi petit moi sur cabane hôpital, a souffrir avec une maladie nous pas contrôler. So, même quand vous regardez l'émission, ça m'a souhaité que dans plein d'informations, nous allons share avec le docteur. Prendre ça qui est appliqué pour moi et puis mettez-le en action.
Moi-même, ça m'apprend, je dis, c'est que sous tes points Pfizer, il conseille pour peut-être prendre Moderna dans le booster. Moi, je dépensais Pfizer, moi, je prends Pfizer encore. Mais m'apprendre, je dis, que je suis supposé interchanger vaccin pour me plus protection. Donc, moi, c'est ça.
Vous allez me docteur d'une guerre.
Moi-même, je prends booster, pas maintenant. Les mouillés en infirmière, la main de moi qui ça me besoin, qui ça me veut prendre. Je me dis, bon, n'importe parce que Johnson & Johnson me dépend. Parce que pas Johnson & Johnson, pas les booster. Elle dit que jusqu'à présent, même quand on malade, je me dis que ça me dépend pas.
Juste qu'on a vacciné, boosted up,
boosted
toute sa vie.
Yes.
Bon, j'en ai théorie d'aller, Esther, tu as besoin pour un petit genre malade pour le capier.
C'est ça, docteur a dit.
Bon, moi-même, si mal prend booster, je vais pour malade moi-même.
Mais vous supposez que
non, mais le docteur a dit que l'homme malade, ça veut dire que vraiment le vaccin attaqué, c'est bon pour la bave, les malades.
Oh, parce que les malades, j'ai peur, dit, oh, booster, malade pour ça.
That's
J'aime
true.
tout malade.
Dans le super.
Pour moi, tellement pas de maladie dans le premier, dans le deuxième, demandé est-ce que vous avez un vaccin.
Et le docteur a dit ça ne veut pas dire que vous pas protégé. Quand nous réagissons différemment à un vaccin. Donc, quand si vous n'êtes pas malade, ça veut dire que le vaccin n'a pas marché. Ou bien si vous êtes malade, ça veut dire qu'il n'a pas marché. C'est quand nous vraiment disons qui genre marché. Moi, je ne suis pas malade.
Nous tous jeunes, oui.
Bon, oui. Non, mais nous-mêmes, tout. Même, il y a une question, c'est petit moins. Parce que là, quand tu prends un vaccin, je ne vais pas même penser à elle. Quand je me dis, je vais acheter, pas de problème, le vaccin vient, je prends un vaccin. Mais là, typiquement, 8 ans seulement. Donc, c'est moi qui prends une décision pour lui. Donc, je vraiment hésité. Mais à la fin, je suis la première dose, et grâce à Dieu, il est bien. Et le docteur a dit, encouragez-nous.
Et même pas on va dire petit tour, on va te plaire.
Petit, moi, juste avant, il me l'a on dit, attends, booster.
Oh, vous voulez pour l'alcool?
Oui, oh, nous, on a petit peu, nous, on ça, mais petit peu, de la calade. Non, on avec lui, pour te prendre l'hiver, le stade, il peut qu'on prenne booster à combien? Au contraire, la chose des fois, il était supposé avoir.
Oui, pour nous, comme ça, tout, il dit que si tu prends Pfizer, après 6 mois, on se supposé prendre booster. Si tu prends Moderna, après 8 mois, on se supposé prendre booster. Mais si c'est Johnson & Johnson, on te prend après 2 mois, elle prend booster.
Oh, wow!
L'important, on est tout le bagage.
Spécialement, mon Johnson & Johnson, please, go, and get it.
Ok, so now nous allons parler de COVID. Parce que même quand vous regardez l'émission ou joint, ok, si que vous ratez l'émission ça, vous pouvez toujours aller sur YouTube, suivre nous, et pas oublier peser petit belle, subscribe, so vous pouvez toujours regarder toute l'émission. Et là, n'importe émission que nous mettons, you're gonna be the first one who can join alert là, et puis vous pouvez garder nous. Et moi, je suis fanatique qui est plus fidèle à nous.
I know.
Mettez vous chez nous pour proposer, on suit off limits, n'a peut-être à l'heure.
What does your outfit say about you? Jodly, a family-owned brand, brings you original design for those who love customizable fashion. Great sales are now being offered. Great fashion for adults, for kids, just for you, we've got original designs, matching outfit, and don't forget, customizable fashion. Visit our store at 44 Rio Street in Taunton, or call us at 339-244-0188. Find us on social media at Jodly.
Welcome back from our break, you guys. So aujourd'hui, j'ai un gros privilège pour introduire the one and only Jeffrey. He also go by T-Klasik pour partie segment entertainment là. C'est lui-même que nous avons gagné. Ensemble avec nous, nous allons parler pour nous digger. Qui s'allie de la Jacqueline. So welcome, you guys.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for,
So beautiful ladies.
Thank you. We are so happy to have you with us today.
Thank you.
Ok, surtout moi-même parce que moi entertainment marketing industry, because I know you know me, I know you, but they don't know who you are. Est-ce qu'on a dit mon qui est souillé, by une petite information de où pour qu'on connaît pour qui ça va je dis.
So, c'est vrai qu'il y a plaisir pour moi jeudi pour nous inviter dans le show Off Limits. Et moi vraiment satisfait avec le show. Et jeudi nous invité pour me parler de background ce qu'il y a avec la musique haïtienne. Nous connaissons que sans la musique, on n'a pas marché. Et la musique, autant de musique, quelle que soit la situation, ou bien cœur content, musique, autant de musique.
Ou d'amour, musique, ou d'amour, musique.
Si on va qui est vraiment vaste, qui va gagner limite. Off Limits.
Ça combien de temps gagne depuis que vous la musique?
Bon, musique, on commence depuis Haïti.
Qui là je pense que tu as commencé à chanter?
Bon, on va dire que tu es dans...
Petit caca?
11 ans.
11 ans, petit caca.
On est dans l'école évangélique, côté que je fais partie de chorale. Et puis on a commencé à chanter. Bon, finalement, si je rentré ici, on va exploiter ça.
Ok. Et qui ont fait choisir nos T-Klasik?
Bon, T-Klasik là, ça sorti de comportement, ouais.
Ok.
Habillement. Façon de parler, façon de marcher, façon de concevoir tout le bagage. C'est un T-Klasik.
So, tu as commencé dans quoi, avec? So, qu'on y a plus focus, compas, quoi les autres?
Avec le temps, bah, il a changé, qu'on a mis sur compas, qu'on a chanté compas.
Est-ce que je joue un instrument ou bien chanter sur
compas? Bon, il est dans le keyboard, mais on a plus accentué sur le vocal.
Oh, parfait.
On va attendre pour entendre
T-Klasik,
sur nous toute la tour, on attend pour nous entendre chanter. Par contre, si nous connaissons, nous qui connaissons, bon, c'est un treat nous côté pour. Nous qui connaissons, on va nous découvrir dans Off Limits. Et c'est ça nous fait ici en tout. Nous faisons découvrir l'autre artiste. Donc, bienvenue encore.
Je pense que c'est vraiment aimé là, on va dire, on va s'expliquer.
Et T-Klasik gagne musique qui a sauté dans le film qui a venu en octobre si Dieu veut, A Heart on Demand.
Ouh!
Ça va pas chez blessé pour ça.
Il faut que nous ayons Titi.
Oh my God, yes!
Donc, là, nous regardons Heart on Demand. Il y a ouais, il y a attendez.
T-Klasik!
Oui, mais ça ne va pas dire.
Wow!
J'aime bien ouvrir leur côté.
Off Limits. Mesdames, T-Klasik là, nous ne pouvons pas juste quitter là les concerts.
Oh non!
C'est pas question.
Non!
Ça, t'as pensé si nous t'allons.
Tout d'abord,
Oh, avec plaisir. Et moi, j'ai un album qui est sorti, qui a 10 musiques là-dedans. Son privilège, je dirais, moi, 21 ans.
So you are a solo artist?
I am.
Okay, very good.
Qui est ça au bal de dire?
Bon, moi, c'est que ma bande m'a obsédé.
Pourquoi pas faire back-up dans ce
C'est sûr que vous devez faire
Ok. Et donc, et donc, qui ça m'a obsédé par?
Bon, obsession, c'est quoi l'obsession? Je peux dire que c'est une idée qui est fixée et ou obsédé avec une chose, du moins avec une fille, qui n'est pas capable sans lui-même. So, quel que soit son fait, c'est pas ça toujours dans l'esprit, ça va toujours penser. So, je peux dire que l'obsession, en là, je pense que c'est un bagage qui n'est pas capable sans lui-même.
Pas contrôler.
Pas contrôler, contrôlable.
Yes.
Et son obsesse, prenons l'exemple, monde qui ont rapport, sont pas capables de même. Je regarde, son obsession, c'est de mettre avec un monde qui est obsédé avec une fille.
Have you ever been?
I'm sorry!
No, I have not.
You have not?
I have not.
Mais qui ça que faut écrire musique là?
Bon, musique, ça m'écrire par rapport avec ça m'attendait.
Ok.
Et puis...
Donc c'est pas une expérience vécue.
Non, non.
Qu'est-ce que ça
Et puis ça, que nous vivons tout, et puis nous inspire des musiques là.
Excellent.
Ok.
Et je pense qu'il va faire capter sur mon gars.
C'est ça que je veux l'artiste. You party pour nous.
You party
You
with it.
explore
Yes,
nous.
yes.
So I really like that. So ladies, are you guys ready?
Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
So on nous
With upper limits.
You get all the stress avec off limit, avec Vini.
Moi obsédé, yeah. Moi obsédé, parmi toutes filles qui sont la terre, ton mécanisme c'est une dame. Si la nature t'est qu'à parler, l'état de moi fou.
Si l'amour c'est un péché mortel, déjà condamné comme criminel, enchaîné comme prisonnier, pas jamais lagué, non. Si l'amour c'est un péché mortel, déjà condamné comme criminel, enchaîné comme prisonnier, pas jamais lagué, non.
Depuis mes témoins sous oreiller, c'est seulement mon rêve. Mais quand je me souviens de votre papier, c'est où me fait dessiner. Non, je veux l'affection, l'amour sans condition. Oh, c'est forme addiction.
Si l'amour c'est un péché mortel, déjà condamné comme criminel, enchaîné comme prisonnier, pas jamais lagué,
pas jamais lagué.
Si l'amour c'est un péché mortel, déjà condamné comme criminel, enchaîné comme prisonnier, pas jamais lagué, non.
Notre amour est si libre, t'es ma raison de vivre. Jusque-là, comme un ange de ton sommeil, te protégera jusqu'au soleil. Moi obsédé, T-Klasik Jodly, à bon bagaille, même bagaille, pour faire bagaille. Chance l'autre être foolish, back to the game. servir comme bateau.
Mon amour est pur et fort, qui ne fait aucun tort.
Naviguer côté oublé, visiter le monde entier.
Mon amour est pur et fort, qui ne fait aucun tort.
Devant des c'est où moi, qui va la vie couler.
Yes.
Merci pour belle musique ça a apporté pour nous. Et mesdames, nous finissons là.
Et que nous n'avons pas dernière fois.
Non, c'est là. Off limits, ça veut dire que nous pouvons finir. Continuer.
Tout bon bagage supposé.
Donc, fait.
So, avec Guerrier,
Avec T-Klasik.
Avec T-Klasik et Guerrier, oui, ok, nous dit fanatique nous aller, mais nous avons l'autre rendez-vous encore pour nous prendre des détails, informations, amuser ensemble avec nous. Le segment ça, li nouveau, ça fait 2 fois nous porter un artiste. Ou même qui t'a même connaît plus de nous, suivez-nous sur tous les social media. Nous avons Instagram, nous avons YouTube, Facebook, et surtout sur YouTube, ou même qui t'a même supportez-nous. C'est toujours petit là. On sait qu'on va faire.
Yes.
On n'a pas besoin de faire encore. On a des chances pour retourner pour garder nous encore et encore.
Et T-Klasik, ou t'as dit mon qui boit au tout?
Bon, bienvenue sur YouTube. Et moi, j'ai un album qui est sorti. Et si on veut supporter, on déjà encore en musique là. Obsédé, sur CD Baby, sur Amazon, tout ça. Et le titre album, c'est L'argent va faire bonheur. Et puis, il y a 2 vidéos autour qui se font vraiment. Et puis, L'argent va faire bonheur. Après tout, ça va supporter l'artiste là.
Yes. Thank you guys. Merci. À la prochaine. Bye.